Day 3 of the 2017 Old Mutual joBerg2c is brought to you by Aruba BCX and Avis Van Rental. The end of stage 3 of the Old Mutual joBerg2c. We finish here on Sterkfontein Dam and the wonderful youngsters from the foundation phase at Harriston School in Harrismith welcoming us all home here to a marvellous overnight stop after 3 days, and certainly today was the longest and hardest stage of them all. It was chilly over the first 50 k's or so, but the real highlights today, I think, were the flow section between water points 1 and 2, then Jabulani single track 4 kilometres along the river. They're absolutely sensational, and of course that beauty, Mount Paul. We can see the finish from the top of it and we blast all the way down. It is another sensational day's riding on the Old Mutual joBerg2c. With the sun breaking over the eastern skyline, the race showgrounds was the start point to the 125 kilometre ride. It was cold again. The world's biggest Gunda led us out of town. Once into the massive Mealie lands, the racing started. Base and Bierkus, Bell and Combrink, Davids and Smith, and Nico Stack and Travis Walker. Also in the lead group were the main contenders in the mixed, Grant Usher and Amy McDougall, and leaders Darren and Candace Lill. Willie Smith of Road Cover has had a phenomenal year on the road. Yeah, he leads the group on the single track. The long district road drags thinned the group out, and as Waterpoint 2 approached, there were 5 teams on the front: NAD Pro, Pyga Eurosteel, Road Cover, KMC Fruit to Go, and the Karen Beef Ellsworth combination of Walker and Stack. In the next group, Grant Usher was the train driver, also the conductor. Amy McDougall on his wheel, Dorma Carver paying close attention. At Waterpoint 2, around 67 kilometres, all the lead group pulled in for a brief taste of the best Vorse in the Free State. NAD Pro, Wolf bears down, and we're off. The KMC Fruit to Go Dutch pair of Bram Root and Gerben Moss had put the hammer down and were on the charge way up the road, whilst the chase group of 4 prepared for the assault on Mount Paul. Semi-pros from the Netherlands, Moss and Root, are no strangers to South Africa, having podiumed at the Cape Pioneer, and they'd opened up a sizable lead, almost 3.5 minutes on the chasers. The 3-kilometre single-track climb at Mount Paul takes no prisoners. It's often the key section in the race, and so it proved today as KMC leaked big time to the Pyga Eurosteel pair of Base and Bierkus. NAD Pro were a further 40 seconds back as they began the rock and roll descent. In the mix, the Lils were first over the top. In second were the bicycle company Mitas of Labuskachne and Williamson. Usher and McDougall had dropped back after 2 time-consuming mechanicals, and the Lanham Love Valencia pair were working hard to close the gap. By the finish at Sterkfontein Dam, Base and Bierkus had passed KMC and opened a 38-second lead as they took the stage victory. A shade under 4.5 hours for Base and Bierkus. The last teams crossed the line after 9 hours and 45 minutes. The Dutch boys, Gerben Moss and Bram Root, made the long district road sections count. NAD Pro still lead on GC. Simone and Lolita van Aert, the best of the women's teams again, and Lil Incorporated consolidated their lead in the mixed. JJ Boerter and Graham Parker took stage honours in the vets to increase their lead to 7 minutes. Anderson and Dodd's second stage win sees them lead the Masters by over half an hour. Douglas Drysdale won a sprint finish with Nick White to take the solo men's race. White, though, still leads on GC. And Siska van der Bijl won the solo women's race to increase her lead to 14 minutes. Day 3 has so much to offer, and for the majority of the field, well, it was a chance for us to savour the diversity of these trails, and for one more time, the famous Free State hospitality, the best cook sisters and Vorse in the world. The first 3 days of the Old Mutual joBerg2c are unique in as much as this is the only time mountain bikers pass through this region. The unifying effect the event has on the somewhat remote farming communities of the Free State is amazing. They do a phenomenal job. But the man who's brought them together over the last 8 years is an English-speaking former pro squash player with a gift of the gab and a passion for South Africa. Thanks, Wappo.
Welkom na 'n ander episode van Boere soek 'n vrou. Nee, dis nie Boere soek 'n vrou nie. Hierdie is joBerg2c, the Old Mutual joBerg2c.
beer. Come, give me a beer.
Listen here, buddy.
If you got 2, I'll take 2.
You're gonna make it up there with that.
We'll get there eventually. Just waiting for some pretty girls.
We say totsiens to the Vrystaat on day 4 and dive down the escarpment. Thanks for 3 proper days, Whopper and your wonderful Boere friends. Stage 4 will see a mass invasion from the escarpment. KZN, are you ready for the Old Mutual joBerg2c?